Isn't this a beautiful garden? There's a little sign that says de-stress 14 miles per hour.
14,000 crepe myrtles in this city. This is the largest botanical garden in Virginia. A red hot poker. That is not the botanical name, but 75 acres.
Some of which are not listed on our map. Those tend to be our smaller gardens, such as the Infinity Garden, the Purity, and the Healing Garden. We call those our secret gardens. Garden Hall. So these gazebos are a host for events such as weddings, but also inside the hall we host adult fitness classes year-round, such as Tai Chi and yoga. The first garden that we have approaching on our right side is the Bicentennial Rose Garden. So this is 3 acres in size, housing 2,200 rose plants and 350 varieties or cultivars. So it is one of the largest rose gardens along the southeastern coast. Roses do typically bloom again in October. Now, modern roses were developed with the help of the Empress Josephine, that's Napoleon's wife, who was very interested in the fragrance of roses and turning them into perfume. The most common modern rose is going to be your hybrid tea rose, as the first modern rose was hybridized with the hybrid tea called La France. Now, coming up on your left side, you see some hydrangeas in bloom related to the azaleas.
Rhododendrons not
And that's
blooming.
probably why we planted about 2,000 of them back in 1938.
Flowering
And we have
dogwood.
quite a few dogwoods still in bloom in this part of the campus. Are established. They are great for filtering water and storing carbon dioxide through a process called carbon sequestration. 79 through 1884. He studied in Germany, and he also made these statues, which is located on the top of the Capitol building in D.C. We have a nice Da Vinci, Michelangelo, and the American artist here on my right side. We have another nice view of Lake Whitehurst. This is where the boat comes back into the garden. A bit of volunteers that help us out a lot throughout the year, doing all sorts of things. And it is, right now, it is hosting a resurrection fern on the arm. It's a very small fern right now. It's not very green at the moment. It earned its name because it can lose 90% of its water content and still survive. We call these our loblolly pines. They are the most common pine in North America. Growing redwoods, but they are not the tallest. They're very kind of on the shorter end. They were considered to be extinct until 1944, and then they were rediscovered. It houses about 20 native butterfly species, including the monarch, as well as the Luna moth. And you get to see the caterpillar stage, the chrysalis stage, and the butterfly stage in there. The nectar plants such as milkweed, mountain mint, and blueberry, as well as a butterfly maze.
Zero wildflowers.
We also have some coral honeysuckle growing along the fence line here, and this will attract the pollinator, the hummingbird. Now when we think of pollinators, we typically think of bees, butterflies, and birds, but other types of pollinators are bats and many types of insects, such as the beetle. The beetle is the sole pollinator of the southern magnolia. Because of this, at the time of its ancestors, bees and butterflies did not exist, and that's why the beetle is its sole pollinator.
For this magnolia.
Featuring some spatterdock in the water, which will bloom yellow. This is where we see different aquatic turtles like red-eared and yellow-bellied sliders, as well as the spiny-nosed soft-shell turtle. So it features native communities like the bald cypress swamp, the Atlantic white cedar pine, and the bottomland hardwood forest. Turtles are the Norfolk City trees and flowers. We have over 500 planted on our campus. Throughout the city, it is estimated that we have 38,000, and they are known as 100-day bloomers. They bloom from July through September. Elms on our campus, and that's because it is resistant to Dutch elm disease, unlike the American. And then finally, we have oak leaf hydrangeas here on the left. These are native to America. Now, most hydrangeas that we see come from Southeast Asia, but these ones here are native to us, and you can see that the color of their bloom is transitioning from white to pink. So this is normal for them. The color of their blooms transition based off of the amount of sunlight they receive, rather than the pH of the soil, which house David Austin
Rose Garden.
David Austin is a well-known rose breeder, known for the Juliet rose, which cost $5 million to develop and took him about 15 years.
We have a beautiful Japanese garden. And that's a Mirror Lake bald cypress. It's a pond cypress, that's why it's growing in this pot of water. Beautiful Japanese maple. This is a tropical garden. There's a banana tree, palm trees. A lot of these bloom in December, evidently. These are orchids, but they're not blooming right now. A lot of roots in the air and keep it nice and moist in here. One that's blooming, itty bitty little orchids. Beautiful one. There it is. Bromeliads are very happy here. Lots of interesting information about orchids here. I think these are air plants. There's another bromeliad. Huge, big hibiscus plant. This is a lavender iris. And these over here are daylilies. And this is part of the Japanese garden. We've seen hundreds of azaleas, but this is the only one I see with any flowers. These are Russian iris. Shack has a sod roof, and if I come around this way, they're growing succulents. These might be succulents too. I'm used to it being sod. So this is a beautiful garden here. Beautiful fountain and court here. They're sprinkling the flowers. Oh, I'm up close to the fountain. It sounds really nice. We've got approximately 25 full-time gardeners here, as well as a whole bunch of volunteers. Chrysanthemums that'll be blooming before too long. Some chrysanthemums just starting to bloom. Nice little camellias here. Make nice gold dust plant, I believe. Likes the shade. So peaceful and beautiful, particularly after the lawnmower stopped.
I think I can recognize which airline the part is from, but not so sure. It is because it was too big to move. About 10 years ago, there was a recycling art installation in this garden. And they didn't move her. She